Hey everyone, before we get into this week's podcast, I want to let you know that myself and the rest of the editorial team, Zach Kazan, Zach Weiss, Blake Mallon, will be taking part in a Reddit Ask Me Anything in the Watches subreddit. That's tomorrow, April 14th, from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be talking watches, collecting, watches and wonders, and anything else that you care to ask us about. Again, that's tomorrow, April 14th, from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Look forward to chatting with you then. Hello and welcome to the Worn and Wound podcast. My name is Blake Bettner. We are back in studio in Brooklyn. I am joined today with Mr. Zach Weiss. Hello, Zach. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me back in Brooklyn.
Back in Brooklyn. Yep.
Just flew in, and boy,
they accepted us. Were you going to say my arms are tired?
Yeah,
I knew it. We've got Zach Kazan there in the computer. Hey,
Hello.
Zach.
Hello. My arms are tired. Everything's tired.
Everything's tired. Yep. It's been a long couple weeks. And we have Josh over there. Josh, hey, how are you doing?
Really good. Really excited to see you guys.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've been out for 2 weeks now. I think it's been 2 weeks. Yeah. We were in Geneva. I was in Zurich before that with Breitling. Do you guys remember? 2 weeks ago, feels like a million years ago, but yeah, Breitling released a new Navitimer just before Watches and Wonders started. And then we, of course, had Watches and Wonders and all kinds of shenanigans there. All kinds of craziness.
Yeah. We're
all a little tired. We're all still kind of dealing with some jet lag issues, but we're getting there. We're pulling together. Here we are. Zach Kazan, what are you wearing on your wrist?
I'm wearing a Grand Seiko, still a Grand Seiko, but a different Grand Seiko. I'm wearing the SVGA 469. I took off the other one that I'd been wearing for like a week in Geneva.
I can't believe you didn't bring that one, your newest one.
I mean, I had to make a choice. I didn't want to bring more than one watch, and I figured I'd bring the one that I had worn more often. So I don't know. It was a coin flip. I really don't know why I chose it.
I did not lose any watches. Did you lose any watches?
I did not lose any watches. Thankfully. Yeah.
I'm prone to losing stuff when I travel. Okay. Like it definitely could have happened. I'm happy with my decision.
I checked on my passport and my watches several times a day.
All right.
I'll say that. Yeah.
I kind of wish I had brought a couple more. Because I was thinking, because you were saying, those are fun experiences to have in different watches. And you're in a community of other watch people. And I don't know, it's just fun to experience.
I'm glad I could have that influence.
You did. I thought of that before I left. I was like, should I bring another roll even?
Yeah, it's fun.
And no customs stamps or anything like that. So they didn't even see all the oranges I brought back into the country with me. So no, just kidding.
TSA, they definitely listen to this.
TSA agents listen. Hey, the customs guy in where was it? In Geneva had on 114060, and he commented on my watch. He's like, oh, I really like watches too. And I was like, oh, nice watch, man.
It's genuinely a different thing over there in Europe, particularly in Switzerland. People know about watches and care about watches. We were one of the first nights there. Zach, Patrick, and I went to a restaurant, a random restaurant, because we hadn't eaten more than Zach's famous sandwiches at this point. And it was very random. So like we were like, first place was kind of closed, second place was kind of dingy, next place was like maybe this, and we walked past and we came back. Excellent restaurant, Singaporean food, and we talked to the owner and his daughter, presumably the owner. I mean, it seemed like a family kind of run place. And she had a GMT on, Rolex GMT on, and they were talking about wait lists and what was at the fair, and like immediately just got very engaged with us, and it was like, they just,
it's cool,
it was just cool. I just feel like there was a level of like actual, like
just organic,
authentic, like, interest in it. It wasn't just like, oh, this thing kind of, which I feel like it's more what you kind of get here when you ask somebody about their watch who isn't like
jewelry status and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, they knew the industry and stuff, so it was cool.
No, it's refreshing to hear.
Yeah. And the food was excellent.
Jack's
place.
Yeah, great food.
Look it up.
We had some good food while we were over there. Where was it? Zach, what are you wearing on your wrist?
Oh, I have on a Porsche Design 7176. That is not my newest acquisition, but I bought it at the beginning of the year, and it went straight from me to a service center. So this is a bit of a project watch, which I don't usually do, but it seemed like a project worth undertaking.
Yeah, it came out really fantastic too. We'll do something on this with we've got a few of these watches now.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have. So in the middle, but like while waiting for this one, I won an eBay auction for a slight variation on it, the 7750 model. So I have that one and this one. I also bought the original packaging, which apparently is quite rare. This was pointed out to me by, well, actually, a lot of this was pointed out to me by a friend on Instagram who's a real like a.
Can we give him a shout out here?
I have to look up his name. It's something kind of long. So give me a second.
Well, Zach's going to do that. Josh, what are you wearing over there?
I have the One and Wound Seiko 5 on.
That's a great choice.
Yes,
Excellent.
it is.
Really?
Excellent
Yes,
choice.
it is.
Lovely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's watch. No, wait. See, that's his. Which is the handle and which is I swear I know how to use.
the bright side of life.
Is that his actual?
If you type that into Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. It's at the bright side of life with like underscores between each word and potentially a 0 instead of an O in of.
No.
Anyway, extremely knowledgeable on
worth going through the effort
watches.
of finding this person.
Yeah. So they gave me some guidance on this little journey I've taken. Which
So
another story for another day perhaps, but it was like I said, I had to really rehab this watch. So it was kind of cool.
Well, it came out great, and we've got plenty of these things now floating around the office, including the newer one. So we'll have to put our heads together and see what we can think of to do some kind of video on it.
In honor of perhaps the new Top Gun 2. We don't know what watch he's wearing in it, but in the original Top Gun, he was wearing a Porsche Design. So
wait, there's another Top Gun coming out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought that came out like 3 years ago. No?
Long delayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And much anticipated by me at least.
But we'll see what watch he's wearing. If it does come out this year, unplanned, originally it was supposed to come before, this is the 50th anniversary of that watch. So regardless, it brings some attention back to the Maverick connection.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
I mean, even if there is a newfangled like IWC or something in it, they should still have one of these in there.
I hope so.
The movie. I mean, there's a common ancestor. There's a lineage there that connects all of these. So I think it would make sense. And I look forward to that. I'm wearing a Ming 1709 with a burgundy dial.
The burgundy.
I got this just before we left.
Looks pretty sweet.
It's so good. It's right on the wrist. Cool. I really like it. And the dial is much more. I don't know. I guess pictures never really do these things justice because you really see like beautiful. A giant the dial blown up on the screen, but then when it's in like a small 38 millimeter case, it's like
it makes it like higher definition, right? So
it's HD. Yeah, I like that.
That watch is beautiful. And that wasn't one that you brought to Switzerland, though. It is a great travel watch because of the jumping hour hand. I saw a couple Mings on wrists in Geneva.
Oh, did you?
Did you guys?
I was gonna ask you guys if you guys noticed any interesting watches just on.
There was one watch that I saw a lot of, a shocking amount of.
Well, yeah.
You probably could guess what it is. I know Zach can guess what it is.
Are you talking about the MA.D 1 red?
Yeah.
There was more MA.D 1 reds, I feel like, than other watches. Like I saw one MoonSwatch.
That's what I thought. I was wondering if you were going to say that.
I saw one, and it was on the wrist of Robert Jan from Fratello, who would be the one person you'd obviously expect to have it. And then a lot of MA.D 1s.
And a lot of MA.D 1s.
Yeah.
So they were, I went into the MA.D gallery and sat with Arnaud for a while. And they were offering, if you had bought one, they were offering it to you there. And so since I'm in the U.S., I would have had to have refunded my thing and paid for it again with the tax there, and then declared a custom. I didn't want to deal with any of that kind of stuff. So I just said, just ship it to me whenever. And then as I was walking out the door, he's like, "We'll have them all shipped out by August or something." And I almost stopped. I was like, August? Well, maybe I don't mind that much. So it'll come when it comes. I mean, it was fun to see and play with. But yeah, everyone, I felt a little less special.
Yeah.
So
it's a neat watch, though.
It's still cool.
Yeah,
it's a neat watch. I mean, it's very novel. It's very, it's. I really would there's no way to do a blind test like this, but to see what people's reaction if it had no connection to him, or if he just kept it anonymous. There's an aura of this amazing mind and watchmaker on this crazy watch that is bordering on a fidget spinner on your wrist. It's I mean, it's neat though, but don't get me wrong. It's It's bizarre. It's crazy. It's huge.
It is bizarre. It's huge, but if you
thicker than a Tudor Black Bay Pro.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Is it maybe just barely? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's no, we'll get into all that. It's if you turn it over though, you can see it's like hollow up to the back of it. And the move, it's not a big movement. It's in it. It's a tiny.
Oh, the
it's a tiny-ass
9015
movement.
is notably thin. It's like a
So you can see all the way up, but it's what makes it thick is those the minute and the hour ring where they sit. Like they need to be thick enough so you can read the number off of them. So it's like, well, the most of the case is like hollow though.
interesting. Yeah.
But so that'll come at some point, and I was thinking maybe I would take it off the strap and like mount it on my desk or something like that.
I think that'd be
Find
cool.
something creative to do with it. I saw some really cool stuff at the M.A.D gallery. They had, of course, MB&F watches there.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Evo X Perpetual Calendar, which was so amazing on that rubber strap with the black and orange dial. It's like exotic, of the exotic territory, and it just kind of embraces that.
Is it lightweight? I forget, or is it?
It was lightweight. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super light. I mean, it's big. It's like 44 millimeters. There.
Yeah.
And I saw something else very, very cool there that will come out later this year that I look forward to being able to talk about. Something that I don't think I'd ever seen anything like it before. So we saw a lot of cool stuff there, but we missed a lot of stuff too. We had the last two podcasts straight have just been about like kind of watches and wonder stuff. But there's one thing that we didn't talk about on the podcast, and that's the MoonSwatch, the Omega Swatch, Speedmaster MoonSwatch. Did I get that right? That's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is.
That's what it is. All right, so this is it's a bioceramic version of the Speedmaster, double signed as Omega and Swatch, done in all of the planets, including the Sun and Pluto. Sorry, Pluto, I love you, but technically, yeah, not planets. But that's okay. I'm glad they included it. These are cool watches. We have not seen. Well, we saw a few on the wrists of people, but very, very brief. We passed a few Swatch stores in Zurich and Geneva, and they had the briefcases full of them there, but under glass. And then they had like signs printed out that said, "We do not have, we do not have these watches." You can imagine how many watch journalists, went in there asking
I was
for it.
I was out there on the day.
Were you out there? What was your experience?
So
Tell us about it.
So I have a little bit of a story. So
Oh yes.
So I did not. First of all, I did not get one. However, I did get a chance to handle one day of. Though.
Okay.
What's it called? I wasn't out there necessarily and I wasn't planning to be either.
Which store did you try to go to?
So I tried to go to the one in Times Square, right?
Okay.
And the thing is, like, I knew that it was a sort of I was reading and there was a lot of hype going on and whatnot, but I got there. What's it called? I was literally just, my wife wanted to go to there's a random perfume store in Times Square that she wanted to check out for the first time.
Wow. Okay.
So because otherwise we're never in Times Square.
Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I had no idea. At this point, I had no idea that there had been people waiting for X, Y, and Z many hours before the Swatch store even opened. And we were just walking. We're on our way home, and this was like 3:00 in the afternoon. And I walk by and I see that I didn't even know there was a Swatch store in Times Square. So I walked by and I was just like, hey, I know the Speedmasters were coming out, or the MoonSwatches were coming out. So I was like, I was just like, I wonder, I was like, they've probably all sold out. But I just curious to see if they had any in display. I would just love to see them in person, right? Walk in there, and it wasn't that crazy or anything like that. I walk in there, and the guy says, literally laughs in my face. He's like, "No, we don't have any on display. We have no more in the store at all." He seemed really frazzled and very annoyed that I even asked.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, this is even more of a thing that he didn't even say about like lines or people have been waiting for X, Y, and Z how long. But I was like, okay, clearly this was a thing, and I didn't even realize how big of a thing it was. So I get home, and one of my friends in the neighborhood calls me. It's about like maybe 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and he's just like, "Hey, bro, I am so hype on this. He's like, I know you're into watches or whatever. I got one of those MoonSwatches. I just got to show somebody." And I was just like, okay.
Nice.
How did he get it?
Yeah, so he works at a hotel that's not too far from there, and he works the early morning shift, and he wasn't planning on necessarily being in that line either, but he kind of knew the release was coming, and he just, based on the time that he goes to work, was able to get in line, and he waited a long time. He wasn't necessarily expecting to get one either, but he's like, and he also knew that, like, there were a ton of resellers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he came over to my crib, he showed it to me, and he got the blue one, which I don't remember what planet that one is.
Neptune, like the all blue?
It's like all blue. And what's it called? And having only held a real Speedmaster in my hand one time, and just, seeing lots of pictures of it, I was just like, the dial was like, I was like, oh, wow, they really did a good job with trying to make this look like a Speedmaster. However, because like in my mind, I was thinking, well, if they happen to have one when I go there, maybe I'll purchase it. But $260 seems a little steep to me for even a plastic watch. If I'm just gonna.
Okay, it's bioceramic. A little respect.
I know.
Okay?
I knew someone was gonna say that. Okay. But I mean, like it was really cool looking. If you are a huge fan of the Speedmaster, like I think it's worth purchasing. I don't dislike the Speedmaster, but it's not one of those watches that I really put up on a high pedestal.
Yeah.
So for me, like for $260 and, for me, I was just like, it's a little bit more than what I would spend for what I would, want.
Okay.
Like for
because
me,
it's still even at 260 in terms of the feel of it did not.
Yeah, it's super. I mean, it's super light. It's even lighter than I expected it to be. I expected it to be light, but it was like as light as like my, Casio A158 or whatever, so like it was even lighter than that. So I did think I know some people complained about the strap or whatever, but I would actually say that was probably maybe the coolest part about it to me, because I think it's on the inside, but it says like Speedmaster on it, and I thought that was really cool.
Well, the Omega version of that strap is like $180, so it is amusing that. I mean, you could put it on your Speedmaster too.
Maybe I will.
Now that's
we each have one incoming.
Yeah.
Which planet were you going?
We probably should. Now we need to address that.
Oh yeah. We
did not buy. We're not the guys who bought the $10,000.
No. Goodness no. I think the prices on these seem very fluid. I think we both put quite low. I put a very low bid on StockX. I did not expect it to hit, and then
there's a lot out there. Unfortunately, like you're saying, a lot of the people who seem to get them day one were just trying to make a quick buck on it. Our justification, if we need it, is that we got these to write about, and like I don't want to wait 6 months to do that. But I mean, I was hoping to go day one too. I was on the train with Blake Mallon. We took a pretty laissez-faire approach to it. We're like, we'll get there an hour early. How big of a deal is this thing? And I was kind of in my mind, like, I didn't actually, I kind of knew we were going to go. But then we were getting messages from friends we were potentially meeting, and they're like, there's riots, there's people waiting, people wait 4 a.m, and get their watches. Like, and we're like, screw this. And we just got off the train at like 2 stops from where we got on and got breakfast instead and called it a day.
Were you going to the Times Square as one?
I was going to go to the Times Square one. The logic being that's the biggest store in the city, and they would potentially have the most inventory. But I mean, the lines you saw from Grand Central Station, from the one that's in the the World Trade kind of area, and then I mean, it was just every store that had them got annihilated, and extremely so.
Which planet did you get?
Jupiter.
Mission to Jupiter. I got Mission to Mars, which is the kind of Alaska project looking one, which I like those hands. And yours is the kind of, it'll be a good contrast, I think, between the two of them.
Yeah. And I'm looking at, that was one of the ones, like originally, you were going to be able to get 2. So I kind of wanted the Mercury and the Jupiter. Then you were only allowed to get 1. And I was sort of like, I'll base that on the moment, I think. And then
you're allowed to get 9.
That's the other thing. So
imagine Swatch thinking at one point that people would be able to like buy 2 of them without.
Yeah, I know. Seriously,
it's really crazy.
One of us used to work at StockX. It's not me. So he knew how StockX worked. I put in a bid, and I assumed at some point it's like you can say no, because I did this all cracked out in the morning coming back from Geneva, like in the airport. I was like just doing this on my phone, sitting next to Zach, and I really did not think that it was going to go through, and it did, and then it just charges your card. So
you're committing when you put that bid in. You are committing to buy. Yeah. So if any of you listening out there have not used StockX, that is how it works. Yeah. Yeah, let's see here. The prices all over the map for these. I'm just looking at StockX right now. There's some of them that are like up over $1,000 still, but I think they move up and down quick because mine was nowhere near the lowest ask, and it was still accepted.
Last I checked, because I checked on eBay, and like I'll probably say like the range of prices that I saw, which blew my mind still, because I was sitting there like thinking to myself, I was just like, did they not? I would just wonder like how many people just wanted to get it and didn't care about how much they paid for it versus people who didn't know that it would be coming, more would be on the way, and very soon.
That's the thing, like some of those crazy prices, like I don't like know. I mean, other than there's people out there who whatever, money is no object, but it's just like there are more coming.
Yeah,
so like I paid. I mean, I wish I just paid pure retail, but for the sake of getting it now and just getting it kind of over with, like I'm fine with what I paid, but it was not at like a shamefully high price, or anything.
Yeah.
Although I guess anything over MSRP.
900 to 2,000 was pretty much the range I saw on eBay.
I don't think I don't think either of us paid anywhere near 900. So I'm excited to see it though. I think the watches it's kind of slowly been growing on me. When I first saw it, I was kind of like, I'm not a huge fan of the dial layout like that. I understand the movement restrictions, but then I saw a couple in Zurich, but I love the concept of it. I like that they did it, and I want to reward.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was thoroughly blown away by this project. Super excited by it. I think it's brilliant and shocking in like the right ways, And I mean, this could set up Omega for a whole new generation of consumer, and especially, I mean, obviously they ran into a little road bump of not understanding the demand. Perhaps they rushed into it to get the news out in a certain window prior to Watches and Wonders, but who knows their strategy really. But yeah, I mean, in theory, there's gonna be a lot more out there, and then like your friend that you're talking about, this is not a guy who probably was going to go out and buy an Omega Speedmaster.
Yeah,
but now he has an Omega Speedmaster.
Yeah, me and him are in a similar boat. Like we've kind of only started our watch journeys maybe like within the last year or two, and I thought it was a really I heard a lot of people were talking about like, oh, this is I heard some narratives out there about like this was not a good look for Omega, and I was just like, I couldn't disagree more. I really couldn't disagree more. Like I think even are there going to be people left with a sour taste in their mouth that they couldn't get them on the day that they were released? Sure, but at the same time, I will say I think it was kind of brilliant and kind of smart to have a limited number, because I mean, I don't know if even they planned on it being this much hype around it, but it worked.
It worked, and it brought an iconic watch. It made it available to a much broader group of people, which I think is great. At the end, we talk all the time about that on this podcast, and
it's. They did it in a way too that, like, in a literal sense, doesn't take away from the luxurious qualities of the higher end one as well. I mean, a caliber 3861 Speedmaster starts at like $6,800, and that is a high end luxury watch. High end, whatever, we know we go how high these things go, but it's like, but it's it is not entry level. It is a mid tier, whatever, and this is a bioceramic quartz version of it. It's not a metal version with like a a different mechanical. It's like it's not trying to imitate it. I guess in a sense,
it's its own thing. And it looks great, and I think it's fun. It's suitably fun, and it's suitably like pays respect to what the Speedmaster is. And it's through and through. Which planet would you have wanted?
I can't remember which one that it was in relation to, but I actually wanted the one that was like the mint green.
With the green case.
Green case, yeah.
That's Earth. I like that one a lot as well.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. That's your favorite. That's the one you guys.
We're already on Earth. We don't need a mission.
Lame. Overall, these are super cool watches. I can't wait to get them in, and we'll do stuff with them. Put them next to a real Speedmaster.
See? Wow! Look at this guy.
No. Totally kidding. I know.
I'll put it in my other fake Speedmaster. My Speedmaster reduced. I tend to get the non-real ones. So that's my.
It's your thing.
I've only had one Speedy Pro out of the 4 Speedmasters I've had.
Yeah.
I miss it terribly, but so it goes. But then the other one that I had in the 40, I've only had one real.
Yeah,
well, back in the day, in the earlier days, when I had my like Speedmaster Mark 4.5. Says Speedmaster on the dial, does not have the moon case, doesn't say Pro on it. I definitely got a little bit of like you'll get a real one someday kind of thing from people. And then when I had a Speedy Pro, which was a 3592, I think was the reference. Is one like the early 90s. It was the first serial model with an open case back. I definitely got called like, this is a nice starter Speedmaster by somebody to me. I was like, dude, this is like all the money I have right now. And like, I should not have bought a watch. And I did.
No, I mean, all kidding aside. I mean, even some people look at the coaxial escapement in the new one and they're like, no, that can't be it.
Neil Armstrong didn't wear that.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, no.
I have a question for you guys in relation to this too, though. It's like, I was like, this is like a wild thought that came into my head. Do you think like maybe, just maybe, if they track like which colorways did like the best, that maybe, just maybe, 5-10 years down the line, they might try to make a version of one of these that they maybe
like maybe the colors are based on what Omega can make out of ceramic.
Yeah.
So this is we were thinking about that.
See,
I was wondering, like, wasn't there a murmuring about like, there's gonna be an Omega release around this as well, of like a Swatch styled something, but done in.
I don't know. Did you heard that?
That was a rumor. I think that was floating around, but
that would have been.
It didn't seem to materialize.
Like a solid gold swatch made by with that said Omega on it.
There's plenty of just Omega Speedmasters out there and available, I guess. So this is this is what it is, and I think it's another part of the story.
Yeah, I mean, like, no, I like that ceramic idea because like Omega does have a blue Speedmaster, blue ceramic Speedmaster. It's not very well. And white and gray and black. But in terms of like colors, blue is the only one they've done. But I feel like the technology's come a long way.
Yeah.
Last couple of years, like Hublot, credit to Hublot, they have some amazing ceramic colors, light blues and pinks and colors that I think other brands are not getting anywhere near to yet.
Very vibrant too. We said they're blue. I mean, it's like a I don't know, like Lego piece blue or something like that. It's like, blue, compared to like I'm sure it's just as hard, like the Ceratanium from IWC. That's they kind of went with these like earthy tones.
Oh yeah, the new IWC ceramics were.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Yeah, those are really cool.
And then the
subtle.
Hublot,
like the green is not. It's not like a punchy, vibrant green. It's like a dark forest.
Yeah.
It's a bit like your shirt. Yeah, the wood.
Yeah.
It's very nice. You like earth tones. I mean, they're quite.
I love earth tones. Well, that's why I went for the Jupiter. It's like I just want. I want an IWC Mojave that's like 39 millimeter. Like I just want my perfect watch kind of thing. And now it's like, Speedmaster Mojave. That's kind of sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. But Hublot had some like earthy tones in their ceramic. At least. Remember that first group that they had in front of us, Zach, at that meeting? They were like all different colors, and then they had the kind of like a khaki looking.
It was like a beige color. Yeah, it was great.
Khaki sounds better than beige, right?
It does, yeah.
Beige is kind of like, it's like Lexus from 1998.
All of them are beige, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
you get your Dockers come in beige. Watches are khaki.
Cotton Dockers. Yeah.
Sorry to all the Dockers fans out there. Wonderful pants.
Yeah. Well, I feel like all that stuff is like in style now, all the 90s. At least by all the high schoolers I see walking around my house.
Oh, man. High schoolers it freaks me. I feel like I'm just seeing like the seniors when I was like a freshman or something.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
It is weird. I don't know what's going on.
They all look like they like deal weed behind the store.
They do.
Yeah. But it's legal now anyway, so it's really lost its impact. It's like,
so what else did we miss? Another brand that wasn't there that I thought had a pretty cool release, Belen Ross.
Yeah.
Had the multimeter, the 0394, I think. The multimeter, this thing is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
And I really love it. Kind of all the colors are awesome.
Yeah.
All the scales on it are like, what?
It's fantastic.
You can't read anything on it. It's just like total ridiculousness, but it's awesome.
You don't use any of those anyway.
Yeah, they're like, you got a tachymeter for if you're like racing a car. You've got a tachymeter for when you're on your bike. You've got a tachymeter for when you're running.
Yeah.
And then you can like get your heart rate. It's like the fully analog version of an Apple Watch.
It's amazing.
Or something like this. It's totally cool.
The colors are almost a little bit like the screen colors, aren't they? They're like the red is a little.
Is it? You think it's supposed to be?
Yeah,
recalling that.
That's what I thought when I saw it. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it, like, there's two things I have to say about that watch. One, it might be my first luxury like Grail watch, like, because I'm like, I really want that thing. It's the first really expensive watch. I was like, oh my God, I really want.
Yeah, it's like $5,800.
I think
not
it's
cheap.
The first Belen Ross, I was like, do I need to seriously stop and get serious right now? Because
But my favorite part about that watch is the date window.
Yes.
The
date-
I think so too.
Yeah.
The date window is I was sitting there, I was looking at it, and then I just saw, I was like, what is that? Oh, that's the date. That is incredible. I don't know why it struck me, but I was just like, you have all this craziness going on. That's wonderful. And then it's just a black circle with white text.
It's a beautiful mess of impracticality, and somebody was like, "What needs a date?"
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then it's like, well, where do we put it? It's in the most random spot ever, but it's literally
fantastic because
it's the only place they could have put it.
It's like at 1.5.
Like 1.5, 2, something.
So
like
there's
that.
some it's like
It doesn't interfere with the scale.
It's
like
literally the only
where
place it could
doesn't-
be to not interfere.
but the angle is corrected too. So they had to calculate the angle on that. So it's like some random ass angle in between
Today-
there to get it level again.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's cool, and I literally laughed out loud
Yeah.
when I saw it.
So when we saw it, I think it was leaked or something maybe.
I saw it on
you saw it.
I saw it on April 1st.
You saw it, and we sat there and legitimately had a discussion of, is this an April 1st thing? Because the app, is it going to be one of those things where, I don't know. You never know. On April 1st, you don't know.
A certain brand a few years ago that is known for their wonderful sense of humor did make a mock Apple Watch thing that then became a production watch.
Yeah.
So there was precedent. I couldn't tell.
And we went to
that's
Belen
Swiss-
Ross. There's nothing on it on the site.
Yeah.
So we were kind of, it must be.
That's Swiss humor. You just can't tell.
Yeah, you just can't tell. But yeah, no, nice job, Belen Ross, on that one. I love that watch. It's super fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Hey, Belen Ross, if you're listening, you should be at Wind Up.
Yeah, come to
Fair.
Wind Up.
They would be a fabulous brand to have at.
Oh yeah, I love their stuff. Their stuff is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get on that. Maybe. We don't know what we're doing. We have zero effect on that kind of stuff. But
You don't have the authority to do
yeah.
that,
So Zach, this was your very first time over in Switzerland for a show like this. Impressions, thoughts, takeaways?
So I was warned by you guys and others who had been to these shows that it's extremely chaotic and you're very busy and it's tiring and all of that was I found to be true. It's overwhelming, but in a really good, satisfying way. If you love watches, it's a great experience. From start to finish. I met so many great people who I had communicated with via Instagram or through email, for work purposes or just kind of in the watch enthusiasm space. They're there and you can, interact with them in person, which is a great experience. And you see all these watches that you would otherwise not have a chance to see.
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful. It's if you're a watch fan and you have the ability to get to a show like this for, in whatever capacity, it's a wonderful experience that I wish that more people could experience. It was great.
Thoughts on Geneva?
So Geneva seems fine. I feel I didn't really see a lot of Geneva.
I'll preface this by the weather was pretty terrible the whole time.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
there.
It was a
It was
weird mix.
freezing
It was
rain, snow,
it snowed
sleet.
for 2 days.
We got squalled.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
It was
a hail
crazy.
squall. It was not pleasant to stand in.
You don't really, I think working the show, you don't really see a whole lot of Geneva. You're in, the Pal Expo, which is the enormous hall where the show takes place for, the entire day. And it's kind of like a casino. It's, you don't have any
no
natural
windows.
sunlight. If it weren't for the fact that there's, watches everywhere, you just lose all track of time. Because it's it's just kind of like a black box. You're in there and it's you're working, going from meeting to meeting, and you don't really see a lot of Geneva when you're there working the show, but still great experience.
Yeah. It was cool. Did you pay attention to the coverage? Josh?
Yeah.
What was your?
So I was I wish it made me, for the first time. It was the first time I'd heard of Watches and Wonders, but I didn't know much about it. So this is the first time I actually followed and watched. I'm pretty sure I watched just about every one of your guys' videos. I watched videos on other channels, and it also made me feel like everybody, in terms of you guys probably felt the question I wanted to ask you guys was do you feel like you would have enjoyed it more if you weren't working it, or do you enjoy it just as much working it?
There's a certain excitement that comes with okay, I'm just gonna start like taking it all in and just let it like wash over me. When you're there, you're not really thinking about that at all. Like it's even hard to process the watches that you're looking at in the moment because you're like thinking about 100 different things.
It's like hard to remember.
What work you have to do, like what you're trying to schedule, where you have to be next, how long is it going to take you to get there, when's the last time I ate, where's that mimosa I asked for 10 minutes ago. No. But there's a lot going through your mind, and there's a lot else going on that you don't really get to sit and just kind of
take it all in.
Take it in and just digest it. Like it'll be a couple of weeks that I think we're just like kind of digesting everything that we saw in a manner that we can form like our own thoughts about. Now, I mean, there's certainly some watches that you see and right off the bat you're like, I like that.
Yeah.
That works. But there are some watches that you just don't really have much of a reaction to. You're kind of like looking and taking it all in and like the technical things and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of how you feel about it, personally, it's hard to separate that.
You need a second look at a lot of things, I think.
Like, you said you guys felt like you missed some things though, because like that was really the thing. I was trying to get a sense of like I knew some of the major brands that would the big brands that were going to be there, but I was like, but you didn't feel like you guys saw everything.
Well, we don't all literally actually get to see everything because you just divide and conquer some of it. So like I didn't go to Rolex at all, and I'm okay with that. To be honest, I feel like I got enough of an impression on everything, and but I mean like.
Other than the people there, very lovely.
Oh, nothing to do with the people.
But the watches,
of the watches that were there, those aren't the ones I'm left like feeling sad that I missed.
Yeah.
I was curious.
You don't get a lot of time with the watches. Like that's the thing. I came away like I had the chance to see Parmigiani twice because we had an initial meeting and then we went back and we did some video with them, and I'm like having that extra time with those watches really.
It made a big difference.
It really was huge to just kind of like. Spend some extra time one-on-one with those.
Yeah. As far as what we missed though, I would have liked to have gone to see Piaget. I feel bad that we didn't. I have a real soft spot for Piaget for some reason. Chopard, I would have liked to have gone in, and Roger Dubuis, I think was the other one, just because we heard the murmurs of the Knights of the Round Table or something ridiculous that they had there or something. But there was we didn't have anything scheduled with Van Cleef and Arpels, for instance. Not a brand we really talk about that much around here, but I'm really glad that we went in and they were so pleasant. They made time for us. They showed us everything that they had there, and frankly, it was all totally beautiful. And their booth was the most beautiful booth there. They did these like automaton things, like something that you don't really think of much because it's like a lost art of doing these things. And they had them there that they made, and they showed it. They activated them. It was totally beautiful. That was a really great experience.
One of the most impressive things I saw was those Van Cleef automatons. It was great.
Yeah, and not even a watch. And their booth is beautiful. Yeah. So, I don't know if there's any brands that you guys were like, oh, I wish I would have gone to see them.
Don't like think about it. Again.
We pretty much saw all the brands though.
I missed Cartier, so Zach, you were in Cartier,
I got to go to Cartier.
And that's kind of the big brand that I kind of regret not seeing, but maybe next year.
Yeah, it was a fun meeting. Obviously we made it just to kind of get coverage of them. I mean, they are Cartier's. Not that Cartier's on the up and up like they weren't on the up before, but like Cartier is like they're like
upstart brand.
I mean, they're like but their popularity is at like for watches is at like a peak right now.
Yeah.
And I was, honestly, I was just hoping to see more like solar tanks, but they went the other direction, and it was just like wild
the totally opposite direction.
Oh man,
left.
and it's the only, it's one of the only meetings where it's like the value of some of the stuff you're being handed is insane, and it's not stuff like they only make a couple of them, so the chances of ever seeing them again is nil, so it's like it's kind of interesting, and some it's like, but I guess really I don't appreciate about jewelry watches because I'm just not into them and I don't know enough about them, is like obviously the craft of it. So like it's not just that they're studded in jewels and made out of gold, it's that they're brilliantly done so like,
and sometimes squishy.
And sometimes squishy. There's the diamond squish thing, like that one, like that was like a weird engineering thing that they figured out. It was kind of what it was, but then they had this bracelet that flipped inside out, and like it was all gold and jewels and things, and there's a watch built into one of the end links, but it was also all hinged in some crazy way, and like elastic somehow,
So it could like swivel back.
yeah, exactly. It was just nuts. It was just nuts. It was $500,000 probably, but it was nuts. Lots of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
Pure wonder. Pure wonder.
Pure
of watches and
wonder.
wonders.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. Is there any watches that caught your eye?
The Vantablack, Moser.
Oh yeah.
That caught nobody's eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Pictures. It was almost unsettling to see in person. Because like when you see a picture, you're like, oh, surely when you're standing in front of it, no, like standing in front of it literally is like that. There's nothing. There's literally nothing that you can.
It's spooky.
Make out.
It's very
Because I remember you talking about it with, because they've used the Vantablack on a previous watch or previous watches.
Yep, they've done it a few times. Yeah,
but like,
on the dials.
Yeah,
And so
on the dials. Yeah.
The entire thing is except for the hands. So then they had a Vantablack background behind it.
Yeah.
So when you stood in front of it, all you could see is a set of hands like floating in black.
Yeah, I didn't get what you like when you were describing the dial. Like you mentioned it on like a podcast previously, and I was just like, oh, that sounds interesting or whatever. And then when I saw, and I know you were only talking about the dial for that, but when I saw the IG clip you guys posted of that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was like one of the, like, everybody had to go by and see this. Like once it got out that thing was there. And apparently like you can't, if it comes into contact with like organic material, it like goes gray and flattens or something. So it's like a real problem getting it into this.
Yeah, it's not a real watch. It is a purely just like a
conceptual
proof of concept, or like what this would be like. It's just an object, an art object. Yeah, really, because there's no crystal on it too. And yeah, like you're saying.
Oh yeah, you would have definitely seen the crystal.
Yeah, the crystal, because there are other Vantablack watches, like the one that they did with the Armory. That appears like a deep reflective black mirror, you know what I mean? Like it's like infinite looking, but at the same time it reflects everything back at you because the crystal that's over
the crystal's there.
Whereas this is just inert. But carbon Vantablack is like carbon nanotubes or something, like facing one direction.
And they can collapse like very, very easily or something. So, and apparently the people that, like the specialists that were supposed to put it in there couldn't do it at the last minute. So
they didn't want to, I think. They didn't want to be liars.
They didn't want to be, so the CEO of the brand like did it himself. I don't know. I can imagine him like with a bunch of toothpicks like maneuvering the thing around. I don't know how they did it, but it looked pretty cool. That green hammered dial thing they had was pretty nice too. Oh, that was a enamel. Was it?
Yeah, it was enamel.
It was quite nice. But yeah, the Vantablack thing was definitely pretty cool. And there was, I don't know, there was some other kind of like surprising or unexpected. I feel like a lot of brands just like went to the nines though, compared to like JLC.
Yep, JLC. I think
entry level stuff.
I talked about the shooting star thing on the last podcast.
That's right. Yeah, but
that was like, and that also was like not even the crazy thing. You know, there was a world time tourbillon where the whole dial turns over 24 hours, and it's like, yeah.
So we're still kind of processing through like photos and videos and stuff like that. So we'll have a lot more kind of coming up. So Zach Kazan and I did an Instagram live. I had to Google how to do Instagram live, and then we did. We figured it out.
We both made our first reels while we were there.
We made reels.
Graduated to Instagram reels.
Yeah. Look at us, pretty much experts now at social media. And so I was like, I posted a story. And I was all proud of myself. And then my wife texts me. She's like, "Nobody does stories anymore. It's all reels." And I was like,
and I think all of our reels, including myself, like I just turned the sound off. But you're supposed to put some like cool song on there. Like
I just turned the sound off.
I can't imagine having to sit through picking the songs.
All right.
I've no time.
Well, sorry to all the followers.
Fun part. That's where you have the opportunity to be clever and make a creative commentary.
I'll just pick like one, like
what song would go
Rancid
with this
on there or something. I'll just put on like some
Ruby
90s.
Soho.
Exactly. I don't know. Like, why are they playing this? It's like, why is it only this
on every single one? No, I mean, you mentioned Rolex. That was pretty much just basic. I don't know. Like all the other brands had some crazy stuff to show, and the Rolex stuff was fine. Like I said, perfectly inoffensive, but.
Well, apparently not, though.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was like,
did seeing the new releases anger you to your core?
No. Oh, yeah. A little bit. Well, I'll tell you the one. I mean, this probably isn't shocking. The GMT Master 2. So it was like, as someone that's not really a huge fan of that watch to begin with, anyway. Exception for like, I like it when they look all patinaed and vintage. Like I like it. I almost like them when they're older as opposed to when they're brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they look really cool then.
It's a very common thing.
Yeah. But I was just sitting there. I was like, I don't know why they moved the crown. I was like, I didn't quite understand the reasoning behind that.
So that's a whole like category of watches for left-handed wearers.
Yeah, and
I think the confusion was generally around why they moved the date over to the other side.
Did they specifically say this one was for wearing on your right hand?
No, I said specifically that it's for anyone, and that anyone can wear their watches
wherever they want.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I would wear it on my right hand because I wear my watches on my right hand. Well, and then if your shirt is kind of like this, you can see the date.
Yeah, because no other watch has a cyclops that I know of on the left side like that. And that's convenient when it's under your sleeve on your right hand.
Yeah.
Like, everyone can wear it. But like, there's also the person they design, like they can say whatever they want, but it makes sense in that context.
Yeah.
If they wanted to be helpful, though, I think they should have offered it in like all the bezel colors, like whatever,
like it was an accessibility.
The BLRO, the BLNR, like just sure. What you can option it however you want it. Like a lot of like Serica does that. Any watch you buy from there, you can get the crown on the left or the right.
Both sides,
whatever.
Yeah, but then people have been like, they're just copying Serica, and Rolex been like, here we go.
Yeah, so they had to make it less obvious.
Yeah.
No, the bezel looked nice in person. I wore my GMT most of the time over there. I don't know if you guys know this. That 24-hour hand, pretty handy when you're traveling.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw that out there. I was able to keep track of when my kid was gonna go to school or coming home, so I could talk to him and all that kind of stuff.
I wore my my Zodiac Worn and Wound edition, which we did a 12-hour bezel on, and it's actually really convenient. Like now that we're flying again, so like it's been a while, but this is the second time I've done this. I just turn the bezel to where I'm landing. And then I kind of know when I get. And then when I get there, I change the time and set it back to the home time. And it's just like just very easily keep track of where you're going.
I just subtracted 6 from whatever time.
All right, smarty pants.
On my watch.
What if it's with a hard number though, like 17?
Then I would have been very confused. Yeah.
No, I one thing that I thought was, where if you can't tell, we're being a little sarcastic here to listeners. So one thing that I did see people being confused about was the fixed 24-hour bezel on the Black Bay Pro. A number of comments in our YouTube video were like, "Why does it have a fixed bezel? It's useless."
Yeah, well, what's really confusing is turning the bezel.
The bezel makes it more confusing. Like that's kind of like a third time zone type thing. So the whole point. You land and you make the quick adjustment to the hour hand to the local time, and then that 24-hour hand does not move. That stays on your home time. So you shouldn't, like, that is set, and then you start reading it off the 24-hour. But if you move that 24-hour bezel, then it's like
then you have
a whole other
third
time zone thing. So that it doesn't need to turn. Famously, the Explorer 2 does not have a rotating bezel. Many 24-hour watches do not have a rotating bezel. It's just like a thing. So,
the rotating
it doesn't take any functionality
really comes
away.
Specifically from Pilot's watches. I mean the original Rolex GMT, but then also like glycines and stuff like that. And those glycines, like there's 24. Like some of those glycines are insane because they have 24-hour dials with 2 hands on them and 24-hour bezels that can rotate. So like you could track too many time zones, but it's for pilots, back in the mid-century.
So and the original GMTs did not have an independently adjustable hour hand. So that is how you adjusted.
Right, it was just a 24-hour hand.
You just rotated the thing.
Yeah.
So
I had a Bulova Accutron. It was the same. The Accutron Astronaut was the same thing. It was non-adjustable. It's just a 24-hour hand, and then the bezels all used.
Yep, you rely on the bezels. So now it's like idiot-proof, And in fact, some watches you just press a button and the hour hand will move, and it's the Nomos, the Hermes. I mean, this has been a thing for a while that you can do. It's awesome. And then of course the
Ball
Parmigiani
actually has a few watches like that too. They have some interesting traveling watches. But there's like a 2 crowns. You go one way or the other.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's neat. It's like
Hey, we like playing with these. As
And
you
it's
said in the
useful.
Parmigiani video,
Yeah,
I like
it's
to
fun
press. I like to press buttons,
Yeah.
and that's basically what we're talking about here. And of course, the Parmigiani one just has the quick button that sends it back. The Rattrapante. So
retro pants.
Rattrapants. Very impressive watches, by the way. Yeah, that's my take. I did that Air King case is like really growing on me though. The more that I think about it.
So how thick was it? So okay, the improvements are crown guards, 0 next to the 5, and it's thinned out a bit.
It's like 2 millimeters thinner.
Oh yeah,
It's like
wow.
properly like wearable now. So it's a great case.
Bracelet's better. too.
Bracelet's
The
better.
bracelet
If they
has,
put that on a Milgauss, I think it would be a insta hit. So like it would be for me too. I like the Milgauss. So yeah, that's my story. Best meal that you had, Zach?
I like that Singaporean restaurant that we hit. I think on the second night that we were there, Zach. I think that was definitely a highlight for me. Italian food on the last night was there. We had some good meals. Thinking
We
back
did.
on the.
They were all like had some stories. I mean, the first night we went out, we ended up going to like a random. There wasn't very much where we were staying, and so we ended up at this place that was like pizza and kebab, and so we got the
Oh, yeah, that was
kebab
good.
on a pizza, of course.
We
That was
had an
good.
insane Burger King experience.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put you on the spot
Burger King in
there.
Switzerland's no joke, guys.
But yes, you guys found a Burger King in
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Do tell.
Yeah. There is I mean, not to get too into this, but like the Patrick and I were at Time to Watches and got there early, like at the beginning of the day. Didn't eat any breakfast before we got there. I think we each had like an espresso before our first meeting, and then luckily we're occasionally given like a tiny piece of chocolate. We go through the whole day. Then recording with Zach to get dinner because we had to go. Then we were going to the IWC Hans Zimmer concert. We had like kind of a narrow window, and I just saw the Burger King as Patrick and I were like heading to somewhere. I was like, this is perfect for right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Zach was into it too, and he gave me carte blanche. He's just like, buy what you think I will like. So we went in and ordered some serious food, but like combo plates, whatever.
Yeah.
But like they have some great stuff. Like this is so gross. So it was like double,
Not gross. Not
double
gross.
insane cheeseburger things, like Whopper double cheeseburger things, double bacon cheeseburger Whopper, super crazy ones.
Yeah.
With as an addition, like you can get like grilled halloumi on it as
Ooh.
well. So there's like a thick slab of extra cheese on these things. It's only like 1 Swiss franc. That's it, the whole meal. So much money. It was amazingly expensive, but so worth it. I mean, that was our only meal that day, and then we went and sat in a 2-hour-long Hans Zimmer concert.
That concert was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was great.
Wait, you guys went to Hans Zimmer?
We went to Hans
Yeah.
Zimmer
Yeah.
concert, and he performed a lot of the scores that were
Yeah.
written for. I couldn't name all the movies,
Dude,
but
Yeah,
like the
Lion
classics,
King, Batman.
Yeah.
that's wild.
Interstellar, Inception.
And he wrote a theme for IWC.
And he wrote a theme for IWC, the color of the sound of music, the color. Of,
No.
Yeah,
The-
it was
the
all
Sound of Music is a movie. The color.
Was he
the music
performing
of color?
in conjunction with Watches
Yeah.
and Wonders? Or is
No,
it
this
just-
was
just something
this was
so-
just an IWC
Yeah,
thing.
This is a private concert.
Oh,
hosted by
really?
IWC.
Yeah.
It was
What?
It was kind of nuts. It was kinda
That's
nuts.
crazy.
Yeah, it was this whole stadium show, but in a.
In
I mean,
a
there were several
theater.
hundred people in this
Yeah.
theater, but it was not a stadium. And yeah, it was his full orchestra.
It was the
with
theater
his-
that they do
Yeah.
the Grand Prix Durology.
Oh, now
Oh,
I've
is
been
that-
there.
I didn't
Now
realize
know.
that.
Yeah. So
Oh, that alone would be worth the trip.
It
That
was-
alone is worth the trip.
it was powerful. It was moving. It was
Yeah.
it was so it
Yeah.
was beautiful. Thank
The-
you IWC for
Like the Lion King in particular was just like
the original guy
everybody
that
got
sang
chills.
it came out on stage and was singing it with him, and his daughter was there performing with. It's like full grown, who had a
Yeah.
beautiful voice, and she
Yeah.
she sang, like the Interstellar score, the notes. It was so awesome. It was just
That's incredible. That sounds really awesome.
I didn't know how to describe it. I didn't know what to
No.
expect, frankly, and it exceeded my expectations.
Yeah,
So
it was pretty wild.
it was probably
Yeah,
one of
it
the
was
coolest
great.
things that we saw, non-watch related, of course. I think my favorite meal was that box that we got at work, only because like I was really hungry,
Yeah.
and it was surprisingly good. They set a box in front of us,
Mhm.
like as your lunch. I was like, okay, this is gonna be, but it was like you know,
Oh, it was very
saffron
pretty
rice
box, yeah.
and beef stew, something,
Yeah, I don't even know.
vegetables. It hit the spot.
Mhm.
And sometimes the best meal is the one that hits the spot.
Yes.
So, but no, overall, a really great time. So, all right, we're gonna leave it at that. We'll have, I guess by the time this goes live, there'll be some more coverage. If you guys have any thoughts on what you saw, let us know down in the comments. Send us a note on Instagram or however you want to reach us. Let us know. And we will discuss it. Until next time, thanks for listening. Take care.